Hey, so I'm trying something new today, and it's Juneteenth weekend, and tomorrow is Father's Day. So I thought I would go live. I've been recording my videos and posting them once a week, but I've got some things that I want to share because I've been seeing some things that have brought me joy, and I thought I would share them with my community. So let's talk about, first of all, the Obama Presidential Library opening in the city of Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. I was born and raised in Detroit, so I have cousins who are over there in Chicago, and what I call my people of color, my black folks, I call y'all my cousins. So y'all are all out here in the city of Chicago. So shout out to you for what President Barack and Michelle Obama have done for this community. I remember the very first time I heard about Barack Obama, and it was on Oprah, and Oprah was talking about his name, and I was like, man, I don't know. And I remember feeling the exact same way when I heard about Oprah Winfrey. No, I'm not going to be able to say her name. And then I heard that there was an Orpah in the Bible and all of that. And I was like, yeah, no, too deep for me, and I don't know what they're talking about. So enter Senator Barack Obama. And over the course of all of these years, we have grown to know and learn to love this family and be inspired by some of the things that they have done for this country and the world. And they're so popular and so well known. And I think about, oh my goodness, some of the before Barack Obama became the president of the United States, Tavis Smiley and Cornel West were some of the leaders in the Black community. And when President Obama was elected, they stepped up, Tavis and Cornell, and they were some of the loudest Black critics of Barack Obama. And I don't think it did them any service to their being critical of what was, the hope that we had as a Black community. My words, not theirs. So I feel bad about that as I sit here in 2026 because I was following Tavis. I thought he used to do a conference where they would talk about the state of Black America and what they wanted to share and how they wanted to support Black folks. And I was excited about it. And I was really hoping that they were going to collaborate, if you will, with the Obama family because, as the expression goes, what does it say? A rising tide lifts all boats. So I knew Cornel West, I knew Tavis Smiley in name. I don't know them, they've never been over to dinner, but I knew their names before I knew Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. But now the shine has kind of worn off because once we start infighting, once we start um, criticizing one another, that can cause problems. Watching the small tidbits of the presentation and the celebration and the opening of the presidential library, I was like, yes, this is outstanding. During a time where we think we're living in so much chaos and there are wars going on, so many wars and negativity happening. I hear there's a 1-year-old baby that got shot the other day, and all of these things and things that we have to protest, and all those things are real. And oh my goodness, can we have some joy? So that Obama celebration was fantastic. I saw the piece, I saw Stevie Wonder singing. Let's go, Stevie, a national treasure who has been advocating for Black people and Black people's rights for as long as I've known about Stevie Wonder. And I think about him, again, Detroit. Hey, Stevie from the Motown sound, and him being a kid, a 14-year-old kid, a little kid. Little Stevie Wonder is what they used to call him, like little Bow Wow, right? And he has grown into such an icon, and he owns a radio station out in LA that I love to listen to. I still listen to it today, even though I live in Virginia. I dial in at 9 o'clock a.m. so that I can hear the beginning of the Steve Harvey morning show when he's giving honor to God and praising God. So thank you, Stevie, for KJLH in Los Angeles, and your replays get my days started. All right, next, Black Joy comes with them Knicks. How about them Knicks, y'all? I'm not your sports fan. If you've ever been on Instagram and see on Instagram where they have the wife explaining the sports to the husband, I mess you up because I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm probably going to be focusing on something that does not include the game. Go World Cup. I hope y'all are doing well in the World Cup. I know that there are players out there. I've seen some of the coverage. I don't know what's going on. I know football is a very popular sport. We call it soccer here in the United States. We don't understand what's going on, and I certainly don't, right? And that goes for even American sports. So basketball, I can follow along with basketball. I'm not going to sit and watch a game from start to finish. I don't care who playing. This is my child or my grandchild. But game four, everybody, right? Game four of the NBA Finals caught my attention because that deficit, when they were down 29 points, when the Knicks were down 29 points against the Spurs, I peeked in on the game like I do. I want to be able to know what's going on. And then I hopped off. I was like, no, I'm not. I don't. I'm not watching this. Knicks, come on. I can't believe you're gonna lose this game. And I've heard, because it had been 53 years since they won a championship. And I know the diehard players, those who left the stadium, who paid all that money, and people were like, I can't believe you weren't there for the game. Listen, history had shown those fans that the Knicks didn't always get the job done, right? They should have stayed, maybe could have, should have, would have, but we all have those moments in our lives. And they didn't stay. And they watched it on the replay, or they watched it, when they got home, whatever. However they watched it, however they saw it, and they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that they actually stayed in the game, locked in." That Jalen Brunson, again, I did not know who Jalen Brunson was until Game 4. And Game 4, when it came, they kind of got my attention when they lost. Did they lose Game 3? When they lost Game 3 and that dude was in the, I was like, they're gonna give it up. They've given up. When they came back in Game 4, I was like, okay, you have my attention. That's when I went and did a deep dive researching who these players are, what is their background. I'm much more interested in a player's history. Who are you? Who is your family? How did you get to where you are now, etc. I knew Cat, Carl Anthony Towns. I knew about him because when his mother passed, and that was such a human interest story. But didn't become a Cat fan because of that. And then his fiance, I don't watch reality television or whatever. No shade. I just don't. I'm living my reality. I got my own reality television over here. So, I wasn't interested in that. But after Game 4, and then when they won in Game 5 in San Antonio, that was spectacular. So to have their parade, and I've been following Mom Donnie. My ex-husband is from Brooklyn, from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. So all these years, 30 plus years of being basic adjacent to New York has been fantastic. I love New York City. I love to go into the city and catch a show. I love a musical. I love Broadway. What's the last show I saw? Proof. I think last summer was a it was excellent, outstanding. Um, Hamilton, always on replay in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. Love the music. Love Lin Manuel Miranda. Yeah. So for them to have the parade this week with Mandami, who is, everybody want to talk trash about him just like they did about Obama. And he just, he went in there, he won the campaign to be mayor of New York City, and it seems to be doing a great job from what I see. I'm an outsider. I don't live there. I live in Virginia, but the people he is, the free child care is outstanding. That's what we need. We need more folks that are willing to come in and make a difference. He's a young politician. That means he's got energy. Let's go. Um, and we all need that help, right? We all need that help. So that's number two. And then Friday being June. So Thursday, what also happened with me personally, I was invited. I met a young woman. Her name is Nikki T. Carr, Carr. And she did a one-woman show here in my small town at Randolph College. She is a fine arts major, and she did a one-woman show about her life as a Black woman, and it was fantastic. So if ever you get a chance, if you want to Google Nikki Nicci T as in Tom Carr Carr, look her up. She I didn't know this she actually put this in her one woman show. She was in a Geico commercial back during COVID. Ah, Geico commercial, Black mom in the kitchen, and a hip hop group. I don't remember who they were. Anyway, hip hop group comes in to her kitchen. She plays the mom in that commercial. That's Nikki T. Carr, but that's not anything about her other than the fact that she is an actress, she is a producer, and she's doing big things. She's doing great things. And she said she's an adjunct professor at Spelman College teaching fine arts. Go Nikki T. Carr. And I met her because I was on for Easter. I went to LA. So I did a little video about me having a full circle moment going back to Los Angeles. I love LA. I lived there from 2019 until 2021, which was a very tumultuous time in this world around the time when George Floyd was murdered. I was in LA, and then the protesters and things like that. And then COVID hit. So all that was going on in LA. And one of the things that I did while I was there was started going to Faithful Central Community Church, Baptist Church. Faithful Central is in the city of Inglewood. At that time, it was a church that was run by Bishop Kenneth Ulmer. And now Bishop Ulmer has retired, and JP runs the church. And Pastor JP has picked up the mantle from Bishop Ulmer and continues to run that church very well, very organized. So I went out to LA for Easter because I wanted to be in a place where I knew that I was going to get a good church service for Easter. And I went to the 5:30 service at Faithful Central. Then the next Sunday, when I was back home here in Virginia, I watched the service from Faithful Central the next Sunday. And in the chat, is where I met Nikki T. Carr, and she said that she was going to be in Lynchburg of all places. And that's how I met her. And she said she would be here in June. So that was April. I was like, oh, when you come, let me know, blah, blah, blah. And sure enough, she came, she performed, and I was there Thursday. And that was an amazing one woman show. And she said she's probably going to take it live out into the world, as she should. Wishing her all the best, great success. And then Friday was Juneteenth. And I decided for Juneteenth that I was going to stay in the house because I don't live in a predominantly Black space. And I'm still probably impacted by COVID, and staying in the house is just my favorite thing to do. And when I want to have an experience that is a Black experience, I know where I can get it in my house, where I can be my Black self. I can be as free as I want to be in my house. Not anti anybody over here, just pro myself. So that's what I did for Juneteenth. And I just wanted to hop on this live because this morning when I woke up, this is Saturday, and the person who got me on YouTube in the first place is Stephanie Perry, who has her own channel. Stephanie started out as she is still a house sitter, right? She was doing house sitting. And then she has this YouTube channel where she talks to Black women and builds her community with Black women. And she talks about leaving the United States. And there was one time in my life about over the 2 or 3 years ago that I was looking to leave the United States. I was like, I can leave this place and go try to see what life is like someplace else in another country. While I was going through that thought process, one of the things that I felt was left undone here in the United States is my building a relationship with my grandson. So instead of moving out of the country, I moved to within 10 minutes to be near my grandson because I want to build a Black legacy. The whole point of my whole existence, once I had children, even when I was in high school, when I wanted to have a family, I wanted to have my kids so that I could leave a legacy that they would be proud of. And from the time I gave birth to my son, I was determined to be someone that he could be proud of. He wouldn't have to over explain. There were times, because I was working at a boarding school and working at the school that he was attending. And there were times when his friends would come to him and say, get your mama. Get your mama. She getting on my nerves. She this and that. And I remember him saying one time, he said, he told me this story. He was like, yeah, my friend said that they got in trouble in your class today. And they told me, they were telling it to me. And he was like, ain't nothing I could do with her. It's like, that's right, because I'm his mother. He's not mine. So, but it was never anything that would bring shame to them as my children. And I would always say to them, please do the same. Can we have a reciprocal relationship that they don't bring shame to me? And I'm so proud of them. And as I said, the whole point of me moving to Virginia was to be near my grandson. He's 6 now, just finished kindergarten. I'm so proud of him and here to do whatever I can to help him grow into a good, strong, healthy, young person and man, right? Want to help him be the best man that he can grow into. And that's what I moved here for. And so on Stephanie's channel, back to Stephanie Perry, this morning, her channel, she had on a woman. What is this woman's name? Latesha. Latesha. who is talking about weathering. Have you heard of weathering? This woman, Latesha, her website is called Banked and Balanced. And she's talking about, my daughter had literally just sent me the link to this woman's content um, about how, as Black women, she's specifically speaking about Black women, how, as Black women, you hear it a lot. We're so tired. We're exhausted. And they're saying that I'm a paraphrase, it says like our nervous system internally, we are much older than even our age. And it's counterintuitive to people who look at our faces and be like, what? Like I say, I am 63 years old. And they're like, I would never have guessed. I appreciate you saying that. And they're saying like my soul might feel like it's 83 because of all of the weight of this world that I've been carrying. I remember my youngest brother was born when I was 7. I've been changing diapers, helping babies, taking care of babysitting, doing all those things since 7. The adultification of Black girls, right? I've always tried very hard not to be fast. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. I never was overly sexual or overly developed or anything like that. I am pretty modest in the way that I dress. No shade. That ain't got nothing to do with anybody else. You do what you want to do with your body. I made my choices. And so listening to this conversation about weathering and what can we do about it so that we're not always exhausted. My daughter said to me once, she said that, she doesn't know how to sit down. She just turned 30. She doesn't know how to sit down. Practice, baby girl. Practice. You just got to get over there, sit down, turn your devices off, says the lady who's sitting here on YouTube right now recording. But turn your devices off and sit and breathe for 10, 15 minutes just for yourself. Just do that. Relax your nervous system. I have several things in place in my life right now that I do. I go to the gym 5 days a week and I do aqua aerobics 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And then Tuesday and Thursday, in addition to my aqua aerobics, I also do a body combat class, which is not in the water. And on all of those 5 days, I also sit in the hot tub for 10 minutes and I sit in the sauna for about between 10 and 20 minutes. That's how I sit and I regulate my system. I do my best. I mean, when I'm in the water, there's no phones. There's just me and exercise. When I'm doing body combat, no phones, no technology. When I'm in my car, I don't turn the radio on 90% of the time. When I'm in my home, I listen to audiobooks, but it's rare that I turn my television on. What I realized about my television is that if I was watching 8 hours of television a day, I'm taking in so many different stories into my system. I don't know how people watch crime dramas and those kinds of things. And I say that what I realize is that because I grew up in the inner city and I saw a lot of things when I was growing up, that's enough for me. I can tap out of that. And I don't watch a lot of comedy and that. I don't know what I'd be watching. I like drama. I like love stories and that. And the last person I'm going to shout out before I get off of here is Arlen Hamilton, who has changed my life, helped me when I did not know what I wanted to do, who I wanted to focus on. When I joined Arlen Hamilton's program and saw how many times she was recording on YouTube, and I saw what she was doing and heard the term underestimated people. That's what I feel like. I am an underestimated person, and I feel like people in the Black community are underestimated. And I want to help. What can I do to help those who feel like they may be underestimated? And that's why I created Our Own Lane community, specifically for Black professionals who work in independent schools. As I say, I don't ever have to say it, that it's just a niche. It's a lane that I've gone into and that I drive down, where I focus on supporting Black professionals who work in independent schools, because I did it for 25 years and I felt by myself, and I wanted to build a community for us by me. So if you're interested, hopefully you are seeing this video. I've seen a few people. I could see that my numbers went from 4 people at the top watching me down to 1. If you're watching, please like, subscribe, encourage your girl, because I'm trying some new things. I'm excited about the new things that I'm trying, what I'm doing. And I feel like, as we just celebrated Juneteenth, and think about 1865, when the folks in Texas finally got the word that it was unlawful. They had to pass a law, y'all. They had to pass a law for it to be unlawful for one human being to own another human being. Because before the word got down there to Texas, they were still doing it. And there are still ways that the system has been changed and shifted. Definitely think about the prison industrial complex, that they still want to own us. And we have at least responsibility and the ability, to the best of our knowledge, to the best of our power, to not get into that system. We try to do it, right? And sometimes it's inevitable, right? People just push you too far. Don't give up your freedom. Stay free. Oh, can I say something about this? So this right here, this power fist, I remember when I was working at one of those schools, I had a student that I was trying to reach. I wanted him to be involved and engaged. So I was the advisor of the Black Student Union. I gotta find a pencil. I don't have a pencil here, but I know I have a pen. And I asked this young man, who was an artist, to design a logo for our Black Student Union. And the logo that he designed had this fist with a pencil in the hand, because it was academics. Well, our logo was kind of like academics, athletics and academics, or something like that. So this was our logo. Just had the fist, wouldn't have my face, just had the fist with a pencil in it. And it said the Black Student Union, BSU. And sent it up to the communications department. And they told me we should not use the logo because it depicted violence. Yes, these are the kinds of things that I remember managing, working through, while trying to build a career for myself, provide a lifestyle for my children and myself, and leave a legacy for my family in the community, with people who had no clue of how powerful this fist is. And I'm not punching you in your face with it. It's just a symbol of power and support for my people. See you next time. Bye.